Hey guys, happy Sunday and welcome to another episode of Kids Zone. So, last week we discussed God's big story and how you are a part of it. So today we're actually going to discuss the beginning of the whole story. So, what I would also like you to do is, I understand some of you may be a little too young and not the best readers yet, but some of you are also older and are pretty good at reading. So for those of you that can, I would encourage you to read the Bible on your own. You shouldn't have to wait for me to teach these things. Obviously, I love teaching you guys, and it gives you a good base. But you should also be looking into these stories for yourself and reading them from the Bible. So, for those of you that would like to do so and should do so, alright, our scripture background is going to be found in the book of Genesis, which is the first book of the Bible. Alright, chapter 1, and then you can go all the way to chapter 2. That's all I'm asking you to do is one chapter. Shouldn't be too hard. I know you guys are very smart. Alright, so let's see where our memory verse is today. So, it's found in John, or 1 John, chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "How great is the love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God." So, we're going to dive into the lesson and see what that means. So first, we're going to start with number 1. Before God made the world, there was nothing. No houses, no people, no animals, no sun or sky or land. It was just dark and empty, but God was there. And God decided to make something wonderful. So let's see what we're going to draw for number 1. Alright guys, number 2. So God said, "Let there be light," and light shone all around. God called the light day, and he divided the darkness from the light to make what he called night. God saw that it was good, and that's what God did on the very first day of the earth's existence. Guys, number 3. The next day, God said, "Let the sky and the water be made separate from each other." Now there was water below the sky and a sky that arched over the water. And that's what God did on the second day. So, number 3, let's see what we're going to draw. Guys, number 4. On the third day, God spoke and the waters gathered together to make rivers, lakes, and oceans. Once the water was moved around, dry land appeared. Now there were mountains and hills, deep canyons and dry deserts. God had shaped a beautiful world. But God was not finished yet. There still was not anything on the earth that was alive. So, for number 4, let's see what we're going to draw. Alright guys, number 5. So God said, "Let there be all sorts of grasses and plants and trees." Grass sprang up, flowers bloomed, red, yellow, pink, and purple. Every color you can think of. Trees of all shapes and sizes grew. Berry bushes and pumpkin vines grew beautiful fruit and bright orange pumpkins. God looked at all the work he had done, and God saw that it was good. So, number 5, let's see what we're going to draw. Okay guys, number 6. Next, God made a special bright light and put it in the sky to shine during the day. We call that light the sun. He made the moon and stars to shine at night. God did a lot of things on the 4th day. So number 6, let's see what we're going to draw. Alright, number 7. On the 5th day, God filled the water in the sky with living creatures. He put fish and sharks, octopuses and whales into the oceans. birds flew through the sky. Some birds were tiny, some birds were big, and they were every color that you could possibly think of. So, number 7, let's see what we're going to draw. Alright guys, number 8. On the 6th day, God made land animals. He made little mice and middle-sized anteaters and laughing hyenas, and great big polar bears and water buffalo and even dinosaurs. Now the world was hopping, buzzing, galloping, wiggling in every place. This was a very wonderful thing. But the day was not over yet. The next thing God did was even more amazing. So, number 8, let's see what we're going to draw. Guys, number 9. God created a man. God called the man Adam. Later, God made a woman called Eve. God made them different from the animals. They could think and make things. They could talk to each other and to God. God loved them very much. They were his special friends. Adam and Eve lived in a beautiful place called the Garden of Eden. It was full of all the wonderful things that God had made. So, for number 9, let's see what we're going to draw. Alright guys, number 10. God looked at the whole world that he had just created. It was exactly as he wanted it to be. He looked around at everything and said, "This is good." So, for number 10, let's see what we're going to draw. Alright guys, as always, our last drawing is the most important. In this regard, it talks about God saying, "It is good," after he finished creating everything. From the smallest of bugs that we're sometimes afraid of, to creating man, and even giant dinosaurs. The craftsman of God is unparalleled in anything. This whole world we know in the universe that we see, sometimes the stars that we see at night in the sky, or a giant moon, the sun, all those things are the craftsmanship of God. And how great and glory-filled are all those things. Nothing compares to it. In fact, one of the most important things too is the fact that God made a man named Adam, and he made a woman from Adam named Eve. There's a reason why he just didn't have Adam by himself. He created Adam so that he could have someone to love, and he also created Eve, someone to help Adam. And God loved Eve just as much as he did Adam. The thing here is God intended for both of them to help each other, to love each other. So, I want you to also think about that. It should never be boys versus girls or men versus women. It's not about who's better, who's superior. It's about both genders working together to honor God's promise, to do things the way God intended, for us to be in harmony with one another. So, those are very important. And like our memory verse said, how much does the love of God just shine on us that we are called his friends and we're called children of God. Okay? So that's something that you need to know and recognize. So remember, part of God's big story is just the beginning, and you are part of it. We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us on Kids Zone.
If you would like to know more about Living Word Christian Fellowship, please visit our website. Also, every Sunday at 10 a.m. we will have live streams of our services, so make sure you check those out as well. And if you haven't already, make sure you like us on Facebook. On Facebook, you'll see wonderful, inspiring posts and also our live stream of our services.
Don't forget to subscribe to our church's YouTube channel. You can follow us at Living Word Christian Fellowship NYC.